Hello everyone, my name is Saumya. I welcome you all to Kalam Academy. We will be starting with Polity series. In this video, we will be looking at the concept of rule of law. Rule of law was originated by Edward Coke, and it was further explained and further propounded by A.V. Dicey. The meaning of rule of law is the supremacy of the law of land over any other elected authority in a country. It means that the law of land is supreme, that no man is above the law, and it means that government is guided by law and not by the arbitrary actions of men. The government is guided by law and not by the arbitrary actions of men. And every individual, irrespective of his position or rank, is subject to the law of land. This is the meaning of rule of law. What is the aim of rule of law? The aim is to uplift the freedom and the fundamental rights of individuals. To uplift the freedom and fundamental rights of the individuals. Aristotle has advocated that the law should govern and those who are in power should be servants of the laws. He said that the law should govern the land, and the people, the elected individuals, those who are in power, they should act as a shield to safeguard the laws. They should be the servants of the laws. A.V. Dicey has given 3 pillars for the rule of law. Those 3 pillars are based on the concept that the government should be based on the principles of laws and not of men. The first one is supremacy of law. It means that laws rules over all people, including the persons administering the law, including the executive organ of the government. Everybody is within the ambit of the law. Second one is equality before the law. This means that irrespective of the person's rank or position, everybody is subject to the ordinary law of the land and jurisdiction of the ordinary court and not of any special court, because special courts are threat to the principles of equality. The third one is the predominance of the legal spirit. This means that the prevalence of the rule of law should have the enforcing authority. We have propounded for the rule of law in the constitution, but somebody should be there to protect that, to protect those rights, and that A.V. Dicey sees in the courts. That authority is seen in the courts. So courts are the ultimate protector of the fundamental rights of individuals. So they should be free from impartiality and external influence. So courts should act as the enforcer of those fundamental rights which are established in the constitution. Rule of law is a durable system of laws, institutions, norms, and community commitments that delivers these 4 deliverables. We can say accountability, which says that government and the public actors are accountable under the law of the land. Just law says that the law should be clear, it should be stable, and it should ensure human rights and also the procedural and the property rights. Open government means that the processes by which the law is adopted and administered, those processes should be fair. They should be efficient. By accessible and impartial justice, we mean that the justice is delivered timely by competent, ethical, and independent representatives. So, rule of law ensures accountable government. It ensures less inequality, greater peace, higher economic growth, improved health outcomes, and such. This was a question from UPSC Pre 2018. Which of the following are regarded as the main features of the rule of law? Limitations of power. We have seen that this is a feature of rule of law because no arbitrary power or any absolute powers are given to the executive. So this is a feature. Equality before law, we have seen that no special rights are given. There cannot be no discrimination between the individuals. So equality before law is also a feature. Liberty and civil rights are also a feature. But this is not. This is wrong. This is not people's responsibility to the government, but it is the government's responsibility to the people. So we have this as an answer. Now, in the context of India, rule of law is nowhere defined, but judiciary has enunciated, it has incorporated the rule of law concept in many of its judgments. Supreme Court has assertively declared that rule of law is an integral part of the Constitution. And there are some of the provisions in which Supreme Court has incorporated that. The first one is Article 13. It says that laws inconsistent with or in derogation of fundamental rights shall be void. So Article 13 provides for means for judicial review. And judicial review is the laws made by center and states, they must be complied in accordance with the Constitution. And if it is not complied in accordance with the Constitution, then they shall be declared null and void. Then we have preamble. Preamble has given the concepts of equality, liberty, and fraternity, and what else? Justice. And all of these concepts are further enunciated in Fundamental Rights, Part 3 of the Constitution. Okay? And if any of this is violated, then people can approach Supreme Court under Article 32 and High Court under Article 226. And they can issue writs for the protection of their rights. Then Supreme Court has given its judgments. These are some of the famous judgments. Kesav Nanda Bharti case. In this, Supreme Court has declared that rule of law is the doctrine. It is an integral part of the doctrine of basic structure. Then we have ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla. This is the famous habeas corpus case. In this, there was a question in front of Supreme Court that whether there was any rule of law in India apart from Article 21. This was the question. So, and this was the question in the context of suspension of the enforcement of Article 14, 21 and 22 during emergency. So, Supreme Court came to a conclusion that even in the absence of Article 21, state has got no power to deprive a person of his life and liberty, okay, without the authority of law. So this is a very important judgment. Then we have Somraj versus State of Haryana. In this, Supreme Court has said that absence of arbitrary power is the postulate of rule of law, upon which the whole constitution is dependent. Bachchan Singh versus Union of India. The Supreme Court has said the rule of law excludes the arbitrariness and unreasonableness. It keeps a check on the legislature, the actions of the legislature. Then we have the DC Vadhva case. In this, the rule of law was invoked to disallow the frequent abuse of the ordinance making power of the government officials. Okay, so these are the few Supreme Court judgments which have incorporated the rule of law. So we have seen that the principle of legality rules all. I hope you got some clarity on the concept of rule of law. I'll see you soon with the next concept. Thank you very much.